the Ferrari Amalfi. This is, in effect, an evolution of the Ferrari Roma, but, well, Ferrari deems the changes significant enough that it's given it a completely new identity, a new name. It's still got a front mid-mounted twin-turbo V8 sending power to the rear wheels via an 8-speed automatic transmission, but the changes elsewhere are significant. It's got a new look to bring it in line with other Ferrari models like the forthcoming Testarossa. It's got a completely new interior, and that is a big change. It's also got loads of changes under the skin as well. So what do you say? We've got the keys. Why don't we go for a drive? I'm Richard Ingram, and this is Auto Express. Firstly then, this interior. Now, if you're familiar with the old Roma, you might remember that there was this kind of weird portrait touchscreen in the middle of the dash. Well, that's gone, and it's been replaced by this landscape version, which is just way better integrated and much easier to use. Much of the stuff inside it is the same, but the screen and the way you operate it just feels so much more intuitive. Now, talking of intuitive and easy to use, Ferrari has fitted proper buttons to the steering wheel. So the old haptic controls, they're gone. You've got proper buttons in its place. Now, Ferrari admits that was as much of a mistake as pretty much anything they have done on any car ever, and has said for £5,000 you can upgrade your old car, Purosangue, SF90, whatever, with the proper buttons with a new panel for your steering wheel. As I say, £5 grand, but probably money well spent. So what else have we got? Well, I still think these seats are a little bit too firm for my liking, but overall I think quality has improved in here, which is no mean feat. This is a Ferrari after all. You've got lots of nice materials on the dash, you've got this carbon fibre on the top of the steering wheel, and the bottom actually, for that matter. The ride overall, well, we never really had many complaints, even on UK roads with the Roma, and they've made some changes under the skin, so we're not likely to have any issues with the Amalfi either, and well, this Portuguese test route is far from smooth. Now, as before, Ferrari has designed this car to be a sports car rather than a GT, so it can be a little bit noisy at times. Those wide section rear tyres do generate quite a bit of tyre noise, but when you want to go for it, boy, does this thing go. You absolutely do not miss the lack of hybridization like you might find elsewhere in the Ferrari range and with Lamborghinis and all that kind of stuff. The twin turbos spool up so quickly, and if you're in the right gear, which is obviously a pleasure to do via these huge steering wheel mounted paddles, it'll fly. 640 horsepower, 0 to 62 miles an hour in 3.3 seconds. This is a really quick car. It does not feel like the baby of the Ferrari range. It's perhaps not as intimidating as an Aston Martin Vantage, but as a result, this thing is way more approachable. It's easier to drive, and that was a goal for Ferrari's development. And yet it will move around beneath you. It uses Ferrari's new slip slide control 6.1, so you can adjust the settings. You've got the Manettino switch, which we're all familiar with, and that'll flick through from wet to comfort to sport, track, and even ESC off if you want it to. But it just lets you build your confidence and get familiar with the car before you decide to go all out, really. The last thing to mention then is the brake-by-wire system. It feels like quite a leap for a brand like Ferrari, not because they're not the kind of forefront of technology, because they absolutely are, but it feels like a leap because its customers demand so much from it and want nothing but perfection. Okay, it's a little bit twitchy around town, but when you're on it, it feels so progressive and so natural as well. You still have a conventional ceramic disc to fall back on if all else fails, but we've really enjoyed driving this car today, and the brakes will just add to the experience. The Amalfi is supposed to be the baby of Ferrari's model range. It's the entry point to its model range. But to these eyes, ears, hands and feet, there's nothing particularly baby about this. It might not be as ferocious or intimidating as an Aston Martin Vantage, but it definitely fulfills its sports car brief better than something like, I don't know, a Bentley Continental GT. If you're looking at buying one, I don't think you're going to feel shortchanged whatsoever.